Hey everyone, it's Kellen Brower from RacerX back again with another race examination video. Going to talk about a couple things from the RedBud National Round 5 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship. Starting off by talking about Eli Tomac's first moto start in 450 Moto number 1. Tomac does not get very many hole shots. He's gotten a couple more since he's gone to Yamaha, but this one was massive. Maybe the biggest hole shot of Tomac's career, at least in Pro Motocross. He's definitely had a couple like these in Supercross, especially this year, but look at how far out he already is leading into the first corner and does the same thing exiting the first corner. Just wanted to highlight it because it's cool. We don't see a Tomac hole shot very often. And then also shout out to Hunter Dude, who helps out with Team Fried, for taking this sick snapshot of Tomac leading the field into the first corner. So yeah, Tomac ripping a sweet start. Later on in the first 450 moto, though, you may have noticed Chase Sexton ripping at his tear-offs a bunch and eventually just struggling to do anything with them. So he started wiping his goggles with his jersey. And you're actually going to notice here, while he's trying to battle with Ken Roczen over the finish line jump here at about halfway, he's going to slow to the right-hand side of the track. And he told me he actually almost came to a dead stop to try to fix his goggles. What was actually happening was his goggles had kind of like torn in half, is what he says. And so part of it was still covered by the tear-offs, but some of it was wide open to just getting roosted. So when he caught back up to Kenny later in the moto, he realized he had to make a quick pass, which is why he made this pass down the inside and then blocked off before the leap. But it wasn't actually that he ran out of tear-offs. He had just had a malfunction with the tear-offs, and that's why he was wiping his goggles. So a little bit of an interesting tidbit there on Sexton. Now I want to talk about Ken Roczen and how good he is on the first laps of the race. Every single moto, it seems like Roczen is somehow able to do this. And if he could do it a whole moto, I mean, it would be just incredible. But on the first lap, first of all, he passes Tomac kind of around the outside into the little, double thing into the middle section of the racetrack. But Tomac's actually going to pass him back coming down into the off-camber here. He goes to the far outside. Kenny tries to defend in the middle rut, but Tomac just goes right back. Watch this line by Roczen right here, though. He's going to jump out of this rut early, basically bank off of nothing, eventually find a rut to hit and pass Tomac back. It's stuff like that that makes Ken Roczen just incredible on the first lap of the race. And I urge anybody at around, if you go to any Lucas Oil Pro Motocross event, to watch Roczen on the first lap, no matter where he is. He could be in 10th, and you could watch the lines that he's taking trying to weave through guys on the first lap, because it's incredible. Even here, leaves the door wide open to try to attack Barcia, even though Tomac's right behind him. Kind of ends up squaring off the corner. Then again, door wide open. Barcia goes inside to defend, and Roczen just around the outside. Barcia makes a little bit of a mistake, but look at the speed Kenny was carrying. I mean, his first laps are incredible, just a work of art every time. And my Pulp Fantasy team thanks him, because I picked him for FFL, and he got it done at RedBud. So that was pretty cool there. A little bit later on in 450 Moto 2, I want to talk about Ryan Dungey and Justin Barcia having this really close call right here. And it was an interesting scenario because I actually saw this from the back. I was there in person, saw this from the back view, and it looked to me like, Barcia just kind of came across and whipped in Dungey's face a little bit, and it got really close for Dungey, almost went down off the side of the track. But if you watch this again, I'm going to pause this right here. Dungey's looking at this, and he feels like Barcia's going to keep going to the left and kind of scrub and end up scrubbing back to the right. But Barcia's going to redirect his line here, going back to the right-hand side of the track, and ends up scrubbing. But there's no way that Barcia could know how close Dungey was right there. And Dungey actually said that he got nose high trying to avoid him. Almost lands off the track, almost has a big one coming in the next corner when his rear tire kicks out to the outside of the track right there. Really close call. But again, I think that's a situation where Barcia doesn't know he's there. Dungey doesn't know Barcia's going to come back across the track. So really, nothing you could do about that situation, but close enough in the end that it was something I should talk about. And lastly, Eli Tomac, how cool would this feeling be? You're going 1-1 at RedBud. It's the final lap of the moto, and you just toss a nice little kind of floater oppo whip in one hand to the crowd. Eli Tomac is absolutely feeling it in these last couple weeks, and now he is the first person to 2 overall wins. Watch out. We're getting into some tracks that Tomac is going to be dangerous at here in Pro Motocross.
I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 500,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Download the OnX Off-Road app today.
Moving on to the 250 class, and of course we have to talk about Jett Lawrence's bike expiring from the race lead in 250 Moto number 1. But particularly, I want to talk about how lucky or fortunate I would say Jett got in this situation, because his bike expired in a slow speed kind of, hairpin corner. It could have been on a jump. It could have been through rollers. It could have been something that really spit him off. And particularly on this section of track, if it had happened 5 to 6 seconds earlier, it's happening on the face of this uphill triple at going into the back of the track right here. You can see it's already smoking. At any point in time, if it lets go right there, he's over the bars and having a big one. But then it really starts puffing into this corner. and let's go. So again, while it sucks that his bike exploded, and I mean, boy, it went off in a big way right there, I would say in the end, it's pretty fortunate it didn't go 5 or 6 seconds earlier, because it could have been a lot worse than just, casually rolling off the track and being frustrated about the situation. He could have gone down hard, and then our own Mitch Kendra got a cool sequence of Jett walking off the track here, obviously in frustration. But again, I still think he got a little bit luckier in this situation than we're probably leading on. Later in the first 450 moto, though, Jo Shimoda and Hunter Lawrence were absolutely going at it. I mean, even with Jett Lawrence as part of this battle, all these guys are just going absolutely insane in a terrific fight for the lead. But I want to talk about something right here. So this is late in the moto. Shimoda's trying to, cut Lawrence off here into the corner, and Lawrence just goes deep into the corner, like misses all of the ruts, goes to the far outside of the track. And one thing you may have picked up on the broadcast that I definitely saw as well was that Shimoda kind of gestured as they come back onto the start straight right here. I'm going to zoom in on it. You can see he's going to look over at Hunter and kind of like throw his arm up like, what the heck? And then, look back at him and see what's going on. And he actually said after the race, he just felt like they're having a pretty fair fight until that point, and Lawrence just left the brakes on way too late right there. So even during the race, some gamesmanship happening right there. Obviously, these guys are friends, so I think it all worked out in the end. But interesting to see that, even during the race, Shimoda not too thrilled with the way that Lawrence was racing him. And then if we moved into the second 250 moto here off the start, Ryder DiFrancesco got the whole shot, but Seth Hammaker quickly went to the lead. But boy, oh boy, did he have a big one from the lead right here. He ends up kind of not really banking off of anything, and that's why the rear end doesn't get any traction, starts to slide out, and then catches and goes back across the track. And boy, I mean, he got spit off here. I actually called it like a little mini catapult, but look, his bike augers in, but he lands perfectly down this grass embankment. I don't think you could get like any luckier with crashing in front of the entire field on the first lap of the race, and just kind of rolls into some of the monster banners. So yeah, it sucks to go down with the lead, but man, oh man, he got away pretty good with that one right there. It could have been a lot worse. Later on in 250, moto number 2, Jett Lawrence and Hunter Lawrence absolutely going at it. Jett coming back from the DNF in the first moto with a vengeance, trying to win the second moto outright. Catches his brother. Then they have this close call coming through the first corner and almost touch right there. I don't think Jett really expected Hunter to have the drive that he did, and Hunter didn't expect Jett to slide up the inside the way he did. But as you see from this different view right here, Hunter controls all the way into the corner. Jett just sneaks up the inside here with a little bit more power, and then it got a little close right there. Jett gives a little bit of a look back, but cool to see the brothers racing each other hard like this. And then towards the end of the moto, Jo Shimoda, he gets into third place after a first lap crash. He's pointing down at the bike. It actually was, turns out that his front brake rotor bent in the crash that he had on the opening lap of the race. So crazy that he still was able to come all the way back, finish third in this moto, which was enough to win him his first career overall win. And he still didn't even know it after he won the race. So that was really cool. Cool to see Jo Shimoda on top, and a different winner here in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross.